I'll call this meeting to order. I'm sorry. Roll call, Deputy Clerk.
This is good. It's gonna change. It's 6 orders.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Thank you. Okay, may we have a prayer, Reverend? Please come.
Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to come today together, Lord. We thank you, Lord, that this is worthy within your realms of being rightful and righteous, Lord. We're praying, Lord, that we don't hate each other, don't hate each other, don't hurt each other, and don't let the city of Harvey go down in flames. We're praying, Lord, that you would bless this meeting, and bless what we would do in your name. I pray for the city of Harvey. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Can you please state your name for the record? Thank you. Stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There is no need to go into executive session. So we need a motion to approve the minutes.
Point of order, ma'am.
There is a motion on the floor. No, there isn't. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you sure that we don't need an executive session for item B1?
No, we do not.
A point of order.
Thank you for asking. Yes.
I have the same question too. I think we need to discuss this in executive session. Is it okay if we take a vote on it to decide?
Attorney?
You can make a motion to go into closed session to discuss pending litigation. We believe we could discuss this particular matter in open session, but if you want to go into closed session, you can.
I didn't think we would.
Okay.
Yes. No. In the
That's
reason,
fine.
the reason why it was already factual. It was already findings. So just to be transparent, that's why we didn't think a need to go into executive session. But those are good questions. Thank you very much. Okay, as I said, we would like a motion to approve the minutes, October 27, 2025. Please pardon my voice.
We have a motion by the 6th and a second by the 3rd.
Is there any debate? Hearing none. Please vote.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Need a motion to approve the minutes on January 12th, 2026, meeting of the whole.
A motion by the 3rd and a second by the 6th.
Any debate? Hearing none, we'll proceed forward. Motion passed. Thank you. We need a motion for January 12th, 2026. Meeting notes. Is there a second?
Motion by the 3rd and a second by the 5th.
May we vote?
Motion carries.
A motion for the meeting on February 2nd, 2026, a special meeting. We need a motion and we need a second.
A motion by the third and a second by the sixth.
Any debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward.
I'm sorry.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Normally on the agenda, we would have the financial bills list. The reason why it is not on the agenda, because there was not an opportunity to have a finance meeting. So with that being said, that is why we moved that from it, and it will be Chairperson Rogers, when would you have a finance committee?
Prior to the next meeting.
Okay, so it will be on the bills list then,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, will be on the agenda for February 23rd, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you, sir. Okay, moving to new business, we need an motion for resolution, no, it's just a motion to approve and to release the settlement agreement, case number 2025 CH 05050. This motion authorizes the agreement and release of a settlement to Ryan Sawinski and the city of Harvey. We need a motion and a second. But in the meantime, is there any debate?
Yes.
Well, we should have a motion and a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need a motion and we need a second, and then I'll open the floor for debate. Okay, we have a motion. We need a second.
A motion by the fifth and a second by the second.
Thank you. Is there any debate?
Yes.
Alderperson Chapman?
I'd like to know for the record, what requested records have been produced and what explanation did we provide to Mr. Sanwelski regarding the request, the FOIA request? That was not detailed in the packet. It was just shared that we had a settlement, and based on the financial distress of the city, we don't have frivolous spending that can
Okay,
happen.
let's keep in the scope of your question.
And in that specific regarding frivolous spending, we don't have an additional anything that we can provide. So my question is, why did not we provide these details?
Okay.
What was to corporate counsel, maybe this would be better for you to answer, but why didn't we provide the details requested by the
Actually,
resident?
I would
Yes.
appreciate the opportunity, and if you're seeking more detail at that point, then we can turn it over to the attorney.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, with that being said, with this particular lawsuit, there was several inquiries. Mr. Sawinski did indeed put in a FOIA request. Within a FOIA request, we have 5 working days to submit the response. At that point, he wanted a larger scope. So a question was relayed to him if he could narrow his scope for the FOIA. And that's when human error entered into the situation. His original response was answered within the 5 days. His response to the clerk's office was received at the clerk's office, but it was an oversight. So, but it was responded late. So he did get a response and he did receive it, but it was after the 5 days. So the fact finding was originally his second response, the second correspondence, what was misdirected in the computer in the email, and that was an oversight. The clerk's office did not see that. It was a human error, but it was answered. But he did receive the information late. Now, within that scope, I will ask the attorney to read the findings that, do you mind going into the findings?
Well, there aren't really any findings. So we have the release and settlement agreement. This is a standard form. Now, the city council has previously authorized the settlement of lower amounts of cases, but the policy is that when we have the final document to bring it before here. So this is to settle it for $5,500 to cover the attorney's fees of Mr. Sinwelski for bringing this lawsuit. The city's not admitting liability, but that's
Right.
what it's about.
And that is it. The city is not admitting liability. We did admit, we responded, but we had a follow-up question, and we were late with that response. The lawsuit continued, and it was determined that we would pay his legal fees. There is no settlement awarded to him except for legal fees. Okay, thank you.
May I ask a question?
Another question, two questions within according to the Robert rules. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
What guardrails do we have in place to ensure that oversight is not costing us $5,500? That same incident could very well happen to another resident. If we times that by 19,000 residents, we'd be well over $500,000 of some sort. So we can't have oversight. I understand human error, but we're in a very critical place as it relates to finances. So having oversight is kind of irrefutable because we're again, and I still don't have a real understanding on what the request was or if the information asked about to even determine how we did not fulfill the request. Because
We did fill the
Well,
request.
we fulfilled it
but
late.
we filled it late. So
Right.
let's get the record straight. The city of Harvey did finalize those records. We were not within the FOIA requirement timeframe.
I was still, I got-
Okay, but I just want to
No,
stress
thank you,
that.
and
The
thank you for-
clarification of words. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
If we were able to do it after the 5 day, we probably could have did it before we were late. So it seems that that we could have done it because we fulfilled it, as you just mentioned it, right? So we could have done it sooner and we wouldn't even have a $5,500 anything on the table. So my ask is what guardrails are in place that this won't be a redundant happening?
Point of order.
One moment, please. Okay, now that's your second question. What guardrails, given the fact that it has been 1 week since we found ourselves in this situation. We are still working on that, but as we all know, go through our daily lives, hindsight is always the best understanding, but human error does occur on a daily basis. Now, if I sit up here and constantly come back and say, oops, human error was the cause, then you would have question for alarm. Right now, we will implement some steps, but to do so as we speak and say, this is the guideline, I cannot answer that. And I don't think anyone sitting in the seat could answer this today's date, given the fact of a week. But I thank you for your answers. I thank you for your questions. We have a second. Alderman Smith?
Yes, so correct me if I'm wrong, if you have the 5 days for that request, and if that person asks for additional information, that means they still within those 5 days, but is it possible we're late because they asked for additional items within those 5 days?
Well, if it was an additional items, then it would be a new FOIA. But
Okay.
it was not additional items. We were asking this individual to narrow his scope. So, information, because it was a large amount of information. So he did not add anything to the original FOIA. He just narrowed his scope. In the meantime, within the situation, all I can say, it was human error, that it was the oversight, but it was just that. They did find it, they did respond, but it was a little after the fact. All right? So that is, we just need a motion to approve it, and second, we have that motion. Please pardon me, I have this laryngitis. Are there any more debates? With that being closed, may we take our vote? Thank you. Sorry.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Excuse me. I'm gonna put a cough drop in my mouth. Okay, on the second agenda, we need a resolution. The resolution authorizing agreement with South Suburban Mayors and Management Association and the Illinois Department of Transportation and the City of Harvey programming funds for the Broadway Improvement Project. Now, some of you guys have remembered, we're talking about Broadway in the front of the building here. This is funding that will be the payment will be through credits replaced by a grant replaced with IDOT from the toll road. So that is our matching funds. So there should be no city funds affiliated with this. Am I correct, City Administrator? Thank you. So what this is, it's to approve improvement based on 153rd into 155th, the mobility and the unsafe road conditions. It's going to provide the Surface Transportation Program, STP, local funds with transportation development credits from the highway applied toward matching funds. We need to pass this resolution in order to proceed forward. That is the only restriction the city has to this improvement, which is very exciting, I will say so myself. So we need a motion and we need a second.
We have a motion by the third and a second by the sixth.
Okay, is there any debate?
Yes.
Chairperson Chapman? I'm sorry. Alderperson Chapman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Pro Temp. The Broadway Improvement Project, after reviewing the details, brings in about $3,690,719.79, and that covers construction and engineering, funded primarily through the federal STP dollars and transportation development credits. Back on Monday, January the 26th of this year, when we had this on the agenda, we were going to have a public forum before we were going to vote on this at 6 p.m. And so, one, we didn't have that. And that's one of my first debatable pieces. But the other piece is that I want to make sure that we have lawful signature authorities fully confirmed by this council on federally funded paperwork. And in addition to that, as a third piece, a clear projected timeline,
Go ahead.
pardon me, to the residents on how this affects their daily livelihood and just kind of overall of the start to finish. In reviewing the full scope of what was shared in the packet, it was specific to the dollar amount. But I think that, one, we really need to take a step back and follow through first with that public forum that we intended to have already back on the Monday, January 26th agenda.
Okay, well, I thank you very much. We're gonna confirm to make sure we're legally responsible, definitely. And going forward, remember, each resolution, we can ask 2 questions. We can only ask 1 question at a time until we get everybody's questions answered. Then we can go back, and this is according to the Roberts Rules of Order, which we have adapted for our style. But given the fact that I did not have the chance to discuss this, I will go ahead and attempt to answer your 3 questions. May you start with your first one?
The first one was, we're here to vote on it today. So the first question, I guess, is just a no, because I had asked about us hosting a public forum.
Okay, so
So if this was tabled tonight, maybe that could be a part of the request, that it be tabled so that we can have a public forum or postpone it until a later date, just so we can follow suit with what we already did. So that kind of
okay,
answers
so
itself.
that's your first question. Okay. Okay, that was your first question, because we did discuss and we did table it on January 26th about having a public forum and a public meeting on this. I did recall that as well. That was an oversight, so thank you for bringing that up. Now we have to decide, do we want to do this with the remaining aldermen? Do you want a public forum, or would you rather go through and have the actual vote? Because remember, the role of a mayor, a role of the mayor pro temp, is to sit here and bring this to the alderman's attention, the alderperson's attention. While we're in the city council, the alderpersons are responsible for the legislative aspect of the city, and that is voting on this. So if I'm going to ask, because I do believe as an alderman and as mayor pro temp, we should all question that. So I'm going to ask, does anyone have a question about whether we should table this or whether we should continue with the vote?
Point of order.
Yes, Alderperson Rogers.
Madam Chair Pro Tem, one of the things that Second Ward Alderman brought out that I found to be pretty substantial in my decision-making is not so much of the public hearing, but the timelines from start to finish. That will indicate how we, as the remaining city council members, can vote. How long will this affect the quality of life for the citizens here?
Okay, I'm going to turn that over to the city administrator. Excuse me, can you please go to the microphone so everyone can have the opportunity to hear you? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. To answer the question, we first have to vote to receive the money. Then we'll go out to bid. So we know what the project is, but until we go out to bid and actually have a contractor solidified, they will tell us how long the project will actually take. There's some projections, but I don't know if they're gonna cut down half the street, both sides of the street at one time. I don't know, but it's right here in front of Broadway. We won't know until we have a contractor in place.
So just to recap, we're only talking 2 blocks in this, in front of our city building?
Yes.
Just 2 blocks. So within this block would be our building, of course, alderpersons, and probably the Park District, but the Park District has an adjacent parking lot and Restoration Ministries that could park along the side. The other business that would be really effective right now would be next door, the apartment complex, but they have an entrance to go in and an exit to go in. Going down a little bit further, the only business that I think is active on the floor, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Davis, is the fact that it would be Gloria's.
I think that's the only business on that strip, yes.
Okay, so
That would
Gloria's
be
will
access.
still have amp parking going across the street. Going across the street to get in and out of her location too, right?
That would be a conversation when we get the contractor to make
Get-
sure each
okay, to
business will
make
still have
sure-
access.
Okay, so that her customers or their customers will have access. So back to the original question, with that being said, 2 blocks, do we think we need a public forum, alderpersons? Yes. Alderman, Randall.
I for one have always respected the alderperson and their ward request.
I do too.
I think that's important. I'm a 5th Ward Alderman. This project is in the 2nd. With that being said, 2 questions. Well, one question is, number one, I would have to ask the 2nd Ward Alderman what issues do she need to clarify or would like to address in this public hearing, if they haven't already been addressed already. And secondly, I know that sometimes with grants, there's a time restraint for them to be submitted before I could really answer that question.
Okay, as Ms. Davis just indicated, the time when we sign this, then, I'm sorry,
I'm referring to the submittal. You know, like they'll say, this needs to be in by such and such date, or,
So we already have the grant funds.
okay.
The grant funds have already been solidified, as the Alderwoman stated. It's a $3.6 million project. SSMA is giving us an additional $300,000 for the road replacement or overlay. So it's additional money that we needed to complete the total amount of $3.6 million.
I got you.
okay, so then your second question
What
would
issue-
go
what-
back to
Yes.
Alderman Chapman. If you can just answer that question, and then we can proceed forward, because then we need to move on. Thank you.
I think it's just always rightful. We showed and proved a point of process. That's why we had it on the Monday, January 26th agenda. And at that time, the vision of our leadership felt it was necessary as well to host that public forum. So in following, this is the same exact agenda from January 26th. The only
Correct.
thing that's missing, the previous agenda before this agenda just had the
right.
Broadway. So I think we should just still follow suit. I know that the residents of the 2nd Ward across Broadway, from the POA building, Preservation of Affordable Housing at 178 East 155th Street, all the way back through Miss Gloria, who's been here 40 years, across the street from the security company.
Okay, so
But I just
you
think
would
that
want,
they-
you want to continue. Okay, she
Yeah.
answered your
Yeah.
question, and see if that's sufficient. Again, the aldermen have a right to use their vote. And we can move forward on this. Are there any other new debate questions? Okay, then I'm going to ask, we already know, just to recap, this is a 2-block radius. Just to recap, the buildings that are going to be effective, we've already received the grant. It is up to all of us to determine when do we proceed forward. Because I personally would hate to have to return this money. That would not be in our best interest. I'm sorry. Then what we could do after we approve this, and this was a good suggestion, maybe we can have a debate with, not a debate, a public forum to keep everyone in tune in what's going on so we can proceed forward. So I'm going to ask for you to vote, and I give you my word, if this passes, we will have a hearing so we can make the residents of the second ward, and I echo those sentiments, Alderman Randall, we all have to work together and everyone's opinion matters on this table, on this matter, sitting, approving. So we will have, an information setting for the residents. But do we move forward on this or we don't? Please vote. Thank you.
Motion carries, and that is resolution 4018.
Thank you very much. Can you repeat that, please?
4018.
Thank you. Okay, as we move on to resolution 3, a resolution is for the maintenance under the highway code. This resolution authorizes the use of motor fuel purposes of maintaining the streets and the highway beginning from January 1st, 26 to January 31st, 26. And what this represents is the city will use $314,000, $772 to purchase salt, cold patch, alley repairs, tree stump removals, restoration for sidewalks for 2026, like it is in the budget. So we need a resolution to utilize the motor fuel tax to purchase salt, cold patch, alley and street repair, etc., as I indicated. We need a motion, and we got a second.
We have a motion by the third and a second by the fifth.
Okay, is there any debate?
Yes.
Alderperson Chapman?
I do support this resolution. It authorizes the city to continue providing essential street and highway maintenance services throughout 2026. Residents' motor fuel tax funds are restricted and can only be used for transportation-related work. And so it's important that the residents understand how these services will be delivered. So I just respectfully request that the council be provided with the project list and outlining what work will be done, how each area of the city will benefit through an equitable dispersion of these services across all wards. So if we could just have a project timeline when we get this going so that I can, as well as the other alderpersons, identify, I know that we all have some very rigid areas in our wards that really need support and need the streets to be repaved and the potholes filled. And some areas are worse than others. So if we could submit that, so that could be a part of what the project timeline looks like. And so the things that are really bad get the assistance that they need first.
I couldn't have said it better myself, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you.
For those of you who live in the first ward, many of you know me. For those of you who know me through the city, you only know of me. So with that being said, when I got elected in 2011, I sat with one of the previous mayors, and I said I wanted 1/6 of the services that every alderman receives. At that point, and I kid you not, I was told that could not happen. Well, I am giving you my word, and not only to this alderman, alder persons, but to you, each and every one of you residents. I take you seriously. I too am a resident of Harvey. I too am a lifelong resident of Harvey, and I have no plans on moving. So with that being said, I am going to ask you to bring your concern up to your alderperson. Your alderperson, there is not a person here that does not have my cell phone number. And I'm not talking about a city cell phone number. I am talking about my personal number. They bring their concerns to me. They go back to you and say, I gave this to Shirley Drowinski. Now you know I am not only pledging to them, but I am pledging to you. We will do our best to accommodate. And if it's not feasible, you will hear from the mayor's staff. Along with, you have every ability to reach out to the city. You can go through city.gov. And if you need a training session, I guarantee you, we could set up a training session here to show everyone how to use that system and feel comfortable with using that. In the meantime, because I know if any person has residents like I have in the first ward, they are not computer savvy. We've already implemented with Mayor Clark and I that the first ward residents can contact, and any first ward resident sitting in this room right now, would you care to say who I said at our ward meetings? Okay, no one wants to stand up. I appreciate that. I understand. I'm not going to ask anyone, but I've always said you can contact Ramona. Ramona, where are you? Over there. You can contact Ramona. There's also two ladies sitting at the desk. You can contact them. So you have the authority to contact the city staff. You have the authority to contact your alderman, your representation, and I will get back. We will get back, not I, we, because we are in this together. I cannot be successful if you're not successful. We have to be realistic, but as I give you my word, I will do my very best, as I always have. So I hope you can take that to the record. I'm recording it. It's on the record. I have implemented that procedure in my ward. And when I did not have that mayor's support, we got through it. We got through it. So I give the alderman, I will work with you. This is not personal. You do not have to like me. I do not have to like you. This is not about like or dislike. This has to do with what's right and what's wrong and what we deserve as residents of the city of Harvey. So thank you. So I hope that answers your question. Are there any other debates? With that, I ask us to vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Resolution 4019.
Okay, guys, we got a couple more, and we're going to go into public events and automatic. Okay, we're resolution accepting certain property located commonly known as 106 and 108 West 106th Street, approving a settlement case. This resolution accepts the property known as 106 to 108 upon execution. The city authorize the city legal counsel to submit dismissal of court fees leading to the property related. In layman's term, what this means is this location is a burnt out building. It has been for 12 years. The owner does not want to pay the fines or does not want to pay the
Demolition.
taxes. I'm sorry, what?
Demolition fees.
Demolition or any of that. So this gives us an opportunity where this owner decided to give this property to the city. Now, if you remember properly, we have a lot of abandoned houses. The city does not own them. If the city does not own them, the city cannot touch them. The only way for us to get them removed, we have to take them to court. We take them to court. It's a 2 to 5 year process, if not longer, and there are legal costs to that. It costs for each property a minimum of $5,000. So in lieu of all that, this owner decides to give us the deed. So he is not going to go, or she is not going to go through the legal aspects of it. The city will hold a lien totaling $12,000, and the property has been estimated value as $380,000. The city will enter into a demo or a sale of property. That is what the intent is, so we can eliminate one less abandoned property. So this is a wonderful opportunity for residents who own these buildings. If they want to eliminate court costs and fees, that they can donate the deed to the city. And then the city at that point will clean it up and sell the property. So we need a resolution to accept this. With that,
Mayor Pro Tem, could I
Yes.
suggest a slight modification to section 2A of this?
absolutely.
So this is talking about who has the authority to sign documents, and it says the mayor and the city clerk. And since, I think we should amend that, since we don't have a full acting mayor now, to say the mayor pro tem and the city administrator are authorized to execute the documents.
Okay, but at this point, we're on resolution number 4.
Yes.
Yes?
This is
Okay.
section 2A of that,
Okay, 2A, okay.
of resolution 4. Sorry about that.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, what do you want us? Okay, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, on the actual resolution is what she's referencing. She's referencing, that the mayor and the city clerk are hereby authorized. What we're saying, what we amend this resolution documentation paperwork to the actual paperwork that you have for this resolution, to say Mayor Pro Tem and the city administrator, authorize this,
To sign the document.
to sign the document.
The original said that the mayor and the clerk.
Right,
And you want to amend it to say the mayor pro temp.
right, and the city administrator, right. And then everything can proceed properly with this. And everything, not properly, normally with this.
Point of order.
Yes, ma'am.
I know I had mentioned this earlier. This was actually, you walked it into the question that I had in our earlier resolution when I had the
Right,
3
right.
questions. And one of them was regarding the signature. Currently, our city administrator has not been confirmed. So because there has not been a vote at majority taken by this council to affirm, or pardon me, to confirm that we have a city administrator, do we believe that that is the route to go, as you just stated, who should be signing off?
Yes, good question. So on that last resolution, it actually authorized the city administrator to. That was in the previous one.
I know.
If she hasn't been confirmed by the council, she's still the interim city administrator and she still would have the power. So I believe that is legally sufficient.
And just in asking regarding the interim piece, since we're on, how long can someone be an interim?
There isn't actually a limit under your city code or under the municipal code.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So with that being said, we're asking for approval for the actual ordinance with the amendment stating in the actual paperwork, Mayor Pro Temp and City Administration in lieu of Mayor and City Clerk. Thank you. Please vote. Oh, is there any more debates? Hearing none, I close that. You vote. Thank you.
Motion carries. That is resolution 4020.
Okay, thank you. What I want to say to the public also, it may be a little bit confusing. I am sitting up here and yet I'm voting as an alderman. I'm just trying to think on how I would think if I was sitting there watching this. And it just came to mind. With that being said, as Mayor Pro Tem, I do not lose the vote as an alderman. Okay, so I can still vote as an alderman. I do not vote as a mayor. Okay, so I still only get one vote. So I want to make sure that's clear, and if anyone has any understanding on that. But by law, I still remain, and a couple thumbs went up, but yes, I am still your alderman. Thank you. I'm pretty good at reading facial expressions, unlike why, so bear with me if I interrupt that. I just want to make sure everyone has a clear understanding. Okay, I thank everyone for that. We are going to resolution, the ordinance vacating the portion of the Parkway right-of-way generally located on 153rd and 154th Street, immediately west of the Metro Electric Railroad in Harvey, Illinois. This ordinance authorized the city to vacate the property and convert the right-of-way, Park Avenue between 153rd and 154th Street in Metro. And what this is basically is this ordinance was pre-approved already, and it was pre-approved by the alderman on August 9th, 2021. The ordinance was approved by Alderperson Keys, Alderperson Michon, Tobert, Alderperson Rogers, Alderperson Drewinski, Alderperson Crudup. Alderperson Randall L. was absent. The city will vacate the property so Metro can do their work, and then once it's completed, the city will resume ownership when the work is completed. We need a motion and a second for this ordinance.
We have a motion by the third and a second by the
Okay, I open this for any debate. Hearing none. Close it. Oh, I'm sorry. Also on this, I take this back. We're going through the paperwork. We would also need, before you actually vote, we also need to change the wording from mayor and city clerk to pro temp and administration for the time being for this ordinance as well. I thank you. Please vote.
motion carries, and that is ordinance number 3520.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and the ordinance, the next one is 6, is the ordinance vacating the portion of the Main Street right, generally located, it's the same location, 153rd and Park Avenue, the Metro, the Commuter Rail Division, and the Transportation authorities. This ordinance is a city to vacate between the street. It's just a repeat. It's a little bit more detailed though. And again, before I see the first, second, the verbiage on this paperwork needs to be changed to Mayor Pro Temp and the city administration. So we need a motion and a second, and then we'll open up the debate. Thank you.
We have a motion by the second and a second by the fifth.
Thank you very much. Is there any debate? Madam Chairperson, I keep calling Chairperson. I got to get these titles straight. Madam Alderperson.
Thank you. While I was not here in the 2021 year when this was
Yes.
voted upon, I do believe this is great for the city, right? It supports our transit development oriented plan that is specifically housed across the second ward. And many of the things voted on tonight are in a collaborative effort for supporting this. What I can say is that I'm just hopeful that across this period of time where we are investing in this infrastructure that will change the entire Southland. We'll have over 10,000 commuters, it says.
Excuse me, may I have your question?
Yes.
Thank
Pardon
you.
me. I'm just asking that we continue to provide the transparency of timelines and when instances of we're about to vacate an entire portion of Main Street and 153rd Street. The question is, how are we, outside of myself as the second ward alderwoman, notifying businesses and residents about the change and across the city of Harvey about the
Thank you.
change that will happen?
Excellent point. We are what we could do, and we can brainstorm this a little bit between us, and that means all of us. We will put it in the water bill. We'll put the notice there. I think that's a great idea. Administrative clerk, can you put that? Make sure that happens, and we can also put it on the city website to get the information. And if we can think of any other creative ideas to inform, and that's something that we're gonna utilize a little bit more. We're gonna, but that's down the way as we continue to grow and move the city forward. And something that I will discuss in my piece coming up. But thank you. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any other debate? Hearing none, I close the debate.
This isn't actually a debate. It was more of to bring it to your attention.
Excuse me.
This particular resolution was dated January the 26th of 2026. So I think we might want to amend that.
Okay,
that date
along
on
with
there.
that, we'll amend it to reflect the
Okay.
current date and time. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries, and that is ordinance number 3521.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we're gonna go. You told me to make sure I speak into this mic, and it's just I'm too short. Okay, we're gonna go into public comment.
First up is Geraldine Harris, followed by Reverend M. King Jr.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. To the Honorable Pro Temp Mayor Drewinski and this Honorable Council, thank you for your service and your dedication to the city of Harvey. Something came to me a couple of weeks ago, and I just want to share it with you because I think it has value. If each of us seek the prayers of our religious leader to pray that the several billionaires give a monetary gift to help settle this debt of $160 million. That's the way we're going to get resolved. We pray, which has been such a burden on our current administration, which has caused a 35% of revenues to be taken, thereby reducing needed service, layoff of workers, and stopping progress of advancement to restore in our city. For the residents of Harvey, it is also required that you pray, fast, and ask for forgiveness, and use your signature on petition in support. In the Bible, the books of Esther, Jeremiah, and Nehemiah has showed how collective working together, what can be accomplished. We are seeking God's mercy and deliverance to our city of Harvey. On January 1st, 2021, on Friday, Mayor Clark asked the community to pray to God and ask for forgiveness of our sins and have mercy on us and heal our city and the world of this pandemic coronavirus. I see that he blessed you and me and everybody else that's still alive. We pray this in his name, in the name of Jesus. Let us have faith and trust in our God. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Reverend M. King Jr., followed by Amanda Ashby.
I thank you for this opportunity, and I grieve for the loss of our mayor. And I said, I'm going to take some of my time, about 10 seconds, for his silence, for his memory. Amen. I'm going to go through some things that I've always been worried about all the time. I'll put it this way, and I'm glad you addressed that. I'm glad you addressed that. I'm saying all the persons should be given 100% information on the finances. All the persons should have direct, equal access to department functions. All the persons should be given equal access to financial decisions. Community policing should be ran by the citizens and directed by the police department with the help of the city. City Service Commission appointments should be open to the public prior to selection. All the persons should be allowed to vote on civil service commissions in the public. Citizens Business Commission should be for each ward. That means each ward, all the person should have access to the businesses they have working through the city so they can find out what they like and what they don't like. The problem is we're losing too many businesses in the city of Harvey. Property tax advocates should be appointed for businesses and residents as a liaison between the city and the residents. Lower excess water fees. They should not be. What I saw in that building over there, it's horrible. We cannot get that $100-something billion by taking out money from people who don't have it. Supply meetings, agenda and text on emails and residents' businesses. What I'm saying is these sheets we've been getting can be put on the internet, and they can put on the internet to every citizen that registers their email or their text and save money for putting paper down here. So when they come in, they already can see what the agenda is. Water bills forgiveness for all citizens. I'm asking for that those citizens that are out there probably owe thousands of dollars. You will not get that money. And businesses that owe you millions of dollars, whatever, you will not get that money. They're going to leave or let the property go. So I said some cooperation from that. Remove the barriers between this council meeting and us. Tear down that wall. Tear down this wall. This doesn't make any sense to me because we are all equal in this city. And the only other thing I'm going to say is that we have all the persons should have ability to run at least 2 of the city workers once a week in each ward so that you'd have access, that those people will be able to work with you and get things done that all the person knows that needs to be done at ward. Because sometimes you might even have some patch for the road that you get, and it could be done within the ward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Amanda Askew, followed by Ryan Walsh.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So got a couple things I want to like to point out. As far as number one, between December 3rd and 4th, the water department did some work on my street. That's not the first time that has been done. However, my concern was the work was scheduled to be done, which would include turning off the water. The work was scheduled to start at 12 noon. and the notice on my door happened at 11:37. And that's 23 minutes before the work is supposed to be done. I work from home. I'm in the middle of meetings. I'm washing clothes. I'm cooking. I think if you're going to disrupt residents' day, which is fine, I do believe at the bare minimum, it should be a 48-hour notice, not a 23-minute notice. That's number one. Number two, my concern with this administration, as I believe another alderman had pointed out, is that there's a lot of interim, and there's nothing on the agenda about whether we were voting for an interim mayor and talking about the clerk's position, and also interim city administrator and the interim police chief. So those are several very key important positions to this administration that have not been voted on nor confirmed. And I understand that there is no timeline to having an interim position with the city council, but I do believe that the sense of urgency needs to happen like yesterday, so those people can be locked in and do their job properly. Because when you're interim, that means you could be let go at any time, because Illinois is an at-will state when it comes to employment. Number three, 2026, my Harvey City Council wish list is that the committee meetings that are coming up, if they could be posted on the website or in a timely fashion. For example, the Finance Committee meetings, they're posted or notified that Friday evening and then for that following Monday. There was no Economic Development Committee meetings in 2025 outside of the former Economic Director, Mr. Suarez, when he had the meeting back in April. But there hasn't been any as a committee. There has been no legislative committee meetings. And so I'm just wishing that the aldermen that chair those committees, please put that out beforehand so that residents can take part. And lastly, I guess my concerns is with the lawsuits. When you discuss the one with Mr. Zanwelski, you mentioned his name and amount, but we don't know the name of the person for the lawsuit or settlement case for number 4. And so I guess that was very weird to me. Like, if you're going to name the names of all the people, then make it equitable and do it for them all. And my concern was that the council stated the name and the amount, but the name and the amount of this law case was discussed on social media prior to the city council meeting. And I think that's unprofessional of an alderman to discuss litigation matters that they're voting on social media prior to this meeting. Be more professional, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up is Ryan Sawalski, followed by Beth McBride.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to address a few things. I know several other people mentioned the lack of voting for the interim mayor and the interim clerk. Unless I was mistaken, I thought the lawyer for the city said during the last meeting that that vote should take place right away at the next meeting, and that someone needs to have 4 votes. So, maybe I didn't understand that exactly. But even if that was not the case, I mean, I think, and I hope most residents would agree, I think we want an interim mayor and not a mayor pro tem. My understanding is that's supposed to be, an emergency if the mayor's sick or something. The mayor's no longer with us. So we need to follow proper procedures. And I echo the last speaker, that needs to be done now. And the fact that you would put a whole agenda, did you know this agenda was not even changed from before Mayor Clark's passing? They just slapped a different date on it. So last week when we were asking about, well, what in the hell is going on? And how did we just lose the mayor? And we didn't even know where he was for a few months. And everyone was saying, oh, well, that's inconsiderate, don't ask questions. Now this week, they want to pretend that he's still here. Is this okay, Harvey resident? Are you okay with this? Because I hope you're not being spectators out there. Those people work for you. They work for you. Don't you come here and watch them.
Excuse me, please take
you
it
tell
down.
them
We're all
what.
adults.
This is my public comment.
I realize that,
Mayor
sir.
Pro Tem. I'm reclaiming my
realize it, but
time
I'm
for being
just-
interrupted.
But you could have your time.
Mayor Pro Tem.
You can
I'm
have
reclaiming
whatever.
my time.
That
Please
is
stop
fine.
interrupting me. I'll wait.
We're reclaiming your time. I have no problem with that. But all I'm going to ask you is please not get excited. We're all adults and we can all hear you.
This is my public comment and it's my free speech. Stop trying to tell me what I can and cannot say. You know, the gall you have, the absolute gall. By the way, the two Family Dollar stores, Ms. Drewinski, are still closed. Why? Who's in charge? Because you're not the interim mayor, you're the mayor pro tem. And Colby even said that. Several people have said that. We all know it. Who's closing our Family Dollar stores? You know, people rely on those things for basic necessities. They're still closed. You're in charge now, and Alderman, you put her in charge. Ms. Smith, the one who wants to talk a whole bunch of crap about me online. Why are those both Family Dollar stores closed? I'm so glad you think that's funny. So if you're in the 3rd Ward, look, she thinks it's funny that you can't have access to basic goods. I hope you all see that. The other thing I was going to say is this whole agenda was bogus. What you need to do is open the books, audit these employees, get rid of all the people like Ms. Davis and Ms. Ramona Simpson who take city cars home. Why does she need to take a city car home to drive home to South Holland? Do you have an answer for that, Mr. Winsky? I thought we were in a financial crisis. Are we? Yes or no? Audit those employees, eliminate the waste, rehire our essential workers. You have 4 firefighters per shift on duty. Are you okay with that? And you're just gonna watch to see what they want to do? I'm not okay with that. I don't feel safe. And I talk to our firefighters and they don't either. But you know what? They're not gonna come up here and say that because they're scared. They're scared that if they tell the truth, you're gonna fire them like you already did, the one who did speak up. So shame on you. You shouldn't have voted on any of this crap. And you lied about all my FOIA stuff. It took Harvey a year, only after the suit was fired, to release that information. And that included land, information about what they're doing with property in Harvey. Liars, all of you.
Duly noted. Your time is up. Your time is up. Thank you. Excuse me. City, Chief. Who is the next public comment? Please step up. Thank you.
Point of order. Point of order, Mayor Pro Temp. The 3rd Ward Alderwoman is making very accusatory and direct, inflicting statements towards me as the 2nd Ward Alderwoman. Could you please, as executor, execute on that? It's very demeaning and rude, and we're not here for that. The public is making a comment. I'm allowing them to do such. As much as I am listening, I hope she is too, and taking heed to the particular information being stated. But at this time, I would refrain from rebuttaling back, as I am trying to be the top at legislation and representing my particular community in a good, proficient way. So yelling out things that this is a part of my team, I am the only 2nd Ward Alderwoman. So with that in mind, I can't speak for the masses of anyone. And so it's very troubling that what she's saying is very piercing. Perhaps somebody in the crowd can't hear what's being stated based on the meaningless rhetoric here.
Your point is taken. Thank you. And as I talked to you yesterday, as we had our dialogue, we talked yesterday, I cannot be responsible on the dialogue. Did we not?
We did.
Did not in the past. But I am asking that everyone here in this city council, while you are in this council, that we respect one another and do not direct any comments towards each other. Did I not? Thank you. I just want to make sure that has already been addressed. What people do and elective officials do outside of this council is not up to the mayor or not. It is up to you as residents. Same thing as far as any other alderman, how they conduct themselves. You as voters will have a choice, as you always did every 4 years during the election process. So do not let anyone take that away from you. Your voice is heard. So when we are in this city council meeting, I am asking everyone, please be respectful to one another. I understand there is some frustration. Yes, I echo those sentiments. And some of the comments We do not encourage dialogue going back and forth. And I'm sorry, Mrs. McBride, I will be with you in a moment, but I just want to seek clarification. I have not had the opportunity to speak as the mayor, but those concerns will be addressed, and those concerns are my concerns as well. So we have more in common than we have not in common. And the one in common is we are residents. You are my neighbor and I am yours. This is not personal. So thank you. And yes, what happens in this council meeting is my responsibility. And I'm just asking. I will treat you with respect. Please treat everyone else with respect. You can get up there and say everything you want. But please be respectful. We do not have to yell and scream. No one has to yell and scream. We are all adults. So thank you. And yes, I'm glad you stand up for your constituents. So thank you. And I apologize for the break. Yes, please continue. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Beth McBride. I do happen to live in the village of Dalton. I am a citizen of the south suburbs. I am also a member of the Thornton Township Citizens Action Committee. I am a community advocate. I stand for what's needed or good in our communities. It has come to my attention that MABUS, who is mutual aid of the firefighters in communities around Harvey, have had a lot of extra duties here in Harvey. When there are real fires where there is engulfing flames in a building or a house, there are communities such as Dalton or Markham or Posen. Even Tinley Park has even been here. We've seen them in person. So these firefighters are doing extra duty for Harvey because they are real servants. They really are concerned that fires get put out, but it's very concerning that the situation has gotten to the place where there's 4 firefighters on duty with every shift here in Harvey. And you've had some very bad fires, engulfing fires. And so I'm just imploring you, asking you, seeking that you would search for ways to bring more firefighters back on duty. Because the firefighters in Markham or Dalton or Posen, they're not going to complain because they are real servants. They'll come here. They'll continue to come here. But it's putting a strain on the other communities, and that shouldn't happen. There should be some way, somehow, that you can administratively or governmentally figure out a means or a way to bring firefighters back on duty, because that's a civic matter. It's a community matter. And this is affecting people's lives and safety. I'm very hopeful that you will hear me with your hearts and that you will find some means to bring more firefighters back on duty here in the city of Harvey.
All right, thank you. Okay, that ends public comment. Okay, we're gonna go into automatic comment. I just beforehand, just to let everyone know, automatic comment will be on every meeting, every city council meeting, twice a week. So each person, twice a month, thank you, twice a week. But twice a month, along with our treasurer. This was an oversight this time. I've already extended my apologies, did I not? And I assured her she will be on the next account. the next meeting. And we will go over that when it is my opportunity. Okay, again, I'm gonna ask the alderman, whatever happened in the past, let's move forward. So we're gonna begin with the 6th Ward and work our way around. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hey, good evening, everybody. So glad to see the full house here again today. My automatic comment is going to be extremely brief. First of all, I'd like to pay condolences to my friend Joe Michael Collins, who lived at 147th Street. He was walking to the store and an automobile hit a light pole, knocked it down, and crushed him to death. And my condolences, my deepest condolences go out to him and his family. Mr. Tyrone, Mr. Tyrone Collier on Wells Street, 25 East, died of cancer. And my condolences go out to his family. So, in essence, what I'm saying is that, God has no respectable person, and that when it's your time, it's your time. So I would strongly suggest that everybody get their house in order. I'd like to send out a special thank you to the citizens and the residents of this great city for praying for me and having a speedy recovery. As you all may well know, I was in a severe motorcycle accident, and I'm not saying whether or not I'm gonna stop riding or quit riding, but that's yet to be seen when the weather breaks. And to all the citizens and the residents here in the great city, we've been through an abundance of extreme cold days in one digit, where the wind chill factor was down to 10 and 11% degrees. And I'm glad to see that everybody survived it. We're going into some warmer weather now. I think it's going to be up in the 40s. So we should all benefit from that. So in essence, what I wanted to say, this is the end of my report. And this administrative staff, they've worked diligently in spite of all the adversities and the variables that we've been through as a city, as a community, since the loss of our beloved mayor. And I think they should be commended on continuing to try to keep the business moving forward here in the great city of Harvey. And thank you all so very much.
Thank you. You would like to go next? I was going to go in this order, and then, would that be okay? Or do you want to go next? Okay. If you don't mind, I'll go. Okay, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can y'all hear me? Good. Okay, good. It don't sound like, from me.
Actually, I think your mic is better over here than it is over there. But
yeah, but I want to, since I'm a resident too,
okay,
I want to stand up on the podium too. You know what I mean? Hey, good evening, everybody. Hopefully, everybody can hear me real good. I want to start off. I want to say I hope everybody had a good Super Bowl weekend. Even if you don't like Super Bowl, you don't like football, and our Chicago Bears wasn't in it, hopefully you went to a good party and ate some good food, like a lot of people do that don't watch football. They go to where the food is at. I would like to start off by saying, with the untimely, death, of our mayor, which is still devastating and still hasn't soaked in, and I don't know if it ever will. I can't say that business cannot go on as usual. Things have to change. In layman terms, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole city here. I hope y'all can understand what I'm saying. We really needed to get it together. We owe our residents so much for everything that they've been through. And I'm a resident too. I live here. Everybody, if they don't know where I live, you can find me. Just ask where Tracy live at. They be right there on the corner watching school. We are residents. So much. Let's show our residents. Let's press rewind and try to start over. And only way we can start that over is starting with a team effort. You know, I'm Mayor Pro Temp. Okay, I'm considered a player, not that type of player, but a player on being an alderman. You know, I'm a player. We're on the team. I'm on a player. And with that being said, all teams need a coach. All teams need a coach. Shirley, Madam Pro Temp, you are our coach right now. I'm gonna hang you this whistle. Show that he's a team, and to show people that I'm a team player because I care about my city. I came here and I got people counting on me. So I'm gonna stand here right now as a team player and open my hand, and I want to see any of the aldermen want to come here and touch my hand, and we can show that we can be a team. And I want the coach to address this. Is anybody going to stand up and touch my hand to show me we team player so we can start this over? Hey, for the sake of our city, are we willing to do it? Is everybody gonna come out? Shirley, you the coach? Wait. Shirley, you the coach? You gotta stand like this. You don't gotta get on your knee. You gotta stand like this, coach. You gotta do that. Let's do it. For the sake of our residents, and respect the people that vote for you. Can I finish, sir? Can I finish, show enough? Thank you. Appreciate that. Coach, you call it from here. Somebody got to do it.
Wait a minute. I want hugs.
You gonna give me more playing time? She gonna give me more playing time to put me in the game? Put me in the game, coach.
He's in the game. We're all in the game.
It's better best.
How fit.
Oh, thank you. You know I'm gonna be your personal line, so you gonna kill me.
That's good. That's good. That's great. That's really good.
And we'll get with all of us as a team. Thank you.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
All right, thank you. Okay. I loved it. Thank you.
That was great. I thought it was great. That was great.
Harvey. I don't know, like, y'all don't go to church often. Let me start over. All right. Harvey, good evening.
Good evening.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, I just want to start off by, once again, most of the time, it's just all about gratitude. I'm extremely grateful, number one, to have this opportunity. I'm extremely grateful for all of the staff, everyone that does everything to help make this city great. But most importantly, the residents. And yes, we are residents, but all of us, the strength that we get from you is more important than anything else. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't really care what anybody say about the city of Harvey, except for one thing. I know we're great. And you know how I know we're great? Is because when it's time to be corrected, you'll do that. But you'll still have the love behind that correction. And if anybody knows anything, steel sharpens steel. But you don't do it on the field. To echo him, there's not a lot of athletes out here either. Okay. But the point is this. The most important thing to me is that little piece of paper that a lot of you pick up when you come into here. That's the agenda. That's the business. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm going to do. And I do it with the mindset of one thing. Is this good for Harvey? Even if I don't think it's good for me, I might not like it. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to represent the 5th Ward. But even some of the things that we vote on, we have to take into account that it's going to affect the entire city. That's not easy to do. And if you've ever been in this particular role, you don't have to be an alderman, you just have to be in a leadership role. You have to understand one thing. You're going to have someone that's saying yes and somebody that's saying no. And you still have to get up here and say yes or no, which means somebody's going to be happy and somebody's going to be upset. And so that's why you have to do it with the mindset and the heart that I believe this is good for Harvey. Right now, if we continue to do that, ignore a few distractions, I know that we're to continue to move forward in the way that we need to do things. I'm open to corrective criticism because I'm not perfect. If you think you are, please take a moment to self-reflect. I'm going to continue to do the job that I was elected to do, and I'm going to continue to do it with the mindset and questioning myself first, is this good for Harvey? And I thank you for your love, I thank you for your support, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you here at every single meeting because we need you. Thank you.
Well said, my brother.
Okay.
I'm next. Good evening, everyone. I first want to address that the agenda has been posted on the social media for the past 3 years, so sorry if you didn't like my posting, but I made a New Year's resolution that when we're going to be transparent and accountable, that everybody else needs to be transparent and accountable by me trying to at least put out the truth, especially when we have people running around here doing some things that probably shouldn't be apparent, like frivolous lawsuits on posted for 4 years over and over again in order to, after you've been collecting for 3 years, you would think you would have enough information to find out all the truth, but maybe some people don't know how government works. Now, I've sat in these meetings and I've observed Hassan come in and make eye contact with all the person with eye winks and head nods as to say, I'm backing you, with full knowledge that Hassan has cost the city millions in legal fees, then turn around and falsely accuse the city of extorting businesses. How do you extort from anyone who owes you millions? Make that make sense. Apparently, one of the followers feels it's okay for businesses not to pay taxes or operate without a business license. This same follower has held Hassan's hand to file a police report showing him how to play victim while robbing our city. It's a shame you guys continue to let this follower play in your face and allow them to be your voice. The funeral home alleges they are struggling to pay their taxes because of COVID, which that took place the year that they decided not to pay. Now, we all know millions of people died during the funeral and profits were made. The funeral homes made more of a profit than anyone else, okay? And they even got PPE loans, and we all know the PPE loans was basically for businesses and they didn't have to pay their money back. So residents, I need you guys to watch the rumors, the lies and spins, research for yourself, don't be a follower of madness. Now, there's some talk about a movement. The movement that's way overdue is to tell these non-law abiding businesses that we will no longer stand for them living off the backs of the residents. This same group feels the city fees for breaking the laws is too high. So why don't they just follow the rules of the city and pay by deadlines? $250 for a license is nothing compared to what they make a day. It's petty and disrespectful to the residents. See, it's a no-brainer, and every taxpaying resident wants them to pay their fair share. But for some odd reason, there's a selected group, residents and non-residents, who have been instructed to protect them with no regard to the funds needed to service the city. Protecting these businesses with such persistence can only be for one reason. Promises and favors have been made in exchange for donating to a campaign. Residents, we must pay attention to the fact that anyone condoning, promoting this behavior and has attempted to correct those followers isn't someone who cares for Harvey. This is a person that doesn't have the city and its best interest in heart.
Well said.
Okay. Okay. Now it's my turn. It's my turn. Oh, I am so sorry. It's not my turn. I thought I was the last. Yes, Alderperson Chapman.
Thank you. Good evening, Second Ward and City of Harvey. I want to begin by acknowledging Black History Month, a time to honor resilience, leadership, and community voice, and a reminder that progress is built through accountability, integrity, and collective responsibility. Those values should guide how we govern today. I also want to extend my sincere condolences to the entire Harris family and to True Holiness Church of God in Christ on the passing of Mother Carletha Harris. Our prayers are with the family and church community. Tonight, I want residents to know something important. For the first time in a long time, this council voted unanimously across the board. That matters. It shows when clarity is provided and processes are respected, we can come together as one body and move the city forward. We are currently in a transition period. The city is operating without a formally appointed acting mayor and acting clerk, and there's also, or will be, an aldermanic vacancy. While council can continue to meet and vote, these leadership gaps affect how city actions are executed, certified, and enforced. The position of the acting mayor is critical. That one role restores executive authority and allows for the nomination of an acting clerk and the filling of an aldermanic vacancy, either through nomination or by organizing a special advisory committee. These steps help ensure city government can function fully, transparently, and with proper oversight. I want to reiterate, there's three positions here. One position that ignites that. Understood thus far? Some actions taken during the transition period may later require ratification to ensure procedural correctness. Ratification simply means council formally reaffirms actions already taken, so there is no question about the validity and authority. It is a safeguard that protects the city and taxpayers' dollars. I support infrastructure improvements, transit-oriented development, and responsible growth. These investments are necessary to position Harvey for future opportunity. I just want it to be done correctly. Progress must be paired with structure, transparency, and respect for residents. My goals remain simple: protect the city, protect taxpayers' dollars, and have respect for all residents. Privacy should never precede the public. In closing, last night, I know you all saw the Super Bowl, and Bad Bunny gave a stellar performance, but one of the most notable things that went across the backfield of all the people, various shades, ethnicities, colors, creeds, religion, all demographics, stood at the table, and they all agreed that the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Thank you, City of Harvey.
Love. Absolutely. And speaking of that, I want to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day on February 14th, next week, Saturday. There's a few things that I would like to discuss, many of what you brought up in the city council, brought up in your comments. Yes, it is very important that we have a meeting to appoint the acting or interim mayor and city clerk. With that being said, I'm going to take them on two separate issues. The city clerk. We talked about this in the last meeting, and I did not write that on my notes. I would like it open up to every single resident here in the city of Harvey. If you are interested in becoming the city clerk, it's a part-time position during the day predominantly, because most activities are done Monday through Friday during the day. With that being said, we're asking that you are proficient, because one of the requirements is to assist with or follow up with the FOIAs, to coordinate and type. So you need to be proficient in Microsoft Office. And there will be a few others, but we are asking you to send your letter to the city of Harvey via walk-in, or you can email it, as long as we can get it, because time is sensitive, by this Friday. Not only does everyone here have access to this, it will also reflect starting tomorrow on the city website. So it would be in everyone's best interest, if you are interested in timely, if you can drop it off at the city. There is always an officer here if the doors are not open right at 6:30, right at 12 when people go to lunch, and due to the lack of the staff, you can always call the mayor's office. The mayor's office. And does everyone know that number? Can anyone share that number with me? It's 210-5300. 708. 210-5300. And then listen to the prompts. Number one. And go to the mayor's office. There you will be greeted by two people. And who is dinging on me? We have a lot of city business to go over. So we're going to do that. You call the mayor's office. They will meet you downstairs, personnel, and they will personally give it to Miss Ramona, give you the letter. Then I'm going to ask each alderperson to come up with one person to go through the applications. I would like one person per each ward to sit on the committee to select our next clerk, to interview and ask questions. Our deputy clerk will be present, and then they will go through the process of elimination. At that point, we are hoping to introduce the next city clerk at our next meeting on February 23rd, where we can swear that individual in. The alderman, you will have one person on your ward. Then we will set together or separate, because we have to be mindful of the Open Meeting Act, and discuss. So we may do a special vote. I'm not quite sure of the clarity. I'll go through the legal stuff because we want the transparency. Even if we have to call a meeting for us to go into privately to discuss this on who we want as our next clerk. Is that fair?
I think so.
Okay, great. That is with the clerk's position. Now, as far as the mayor, interim mayor or acting mayor, that too will be on November 23rd. I'm sorry, February 23rd meeting. We are looking for a venue. If you remember the last time, we had people standing in the hall, we had people in the back. So we are going to look for a new venue that will also be explained to each of your alderperson. It will be on the website, and it will be on a recording. We'll figure out some way to let everyone know of the location. But it will definitely be on the website once we get confirmation of where that meeting will be. We cannot have it here because, you ever hear that saying, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Well, we already know we had a lot of people interested. So I want everyone to have access to that so we don't have a repeat. As far as the businesses, I am 100% confident on the way things were done, but we are shorthanded. There is no doubt. There is not an alder person, not a city staff person does not want the people back. Our fire department, of course we want them back. And as one of the questions was, other towns have helped us, yes, but I assure you that Harvey has gone to their sites as well. They have an intergovernment agreement. So not only do they come to our towns, we come to their towns as well. So it is a mutual agreement. It's not one-sided and we're abusing. But there is not a person here that does not echo those sentiments that we want our employees back. Fire department, police department, street department, administration, we want our office all open. But what we want and what we can do is two different things. We talked about our financial 164. We all know that. But I'm going to ask you, did anyone read in the paper that Crown Point, Indiana, is $1.2 million in a deficit? And I am confident if somebody said, so what? I am confident there is not any municipality, and if I'm wrong, I will come back to you and tell you that is operating with a surplus today's date. But they are doing the best they can. We in Harvey did it too long. And we in Harvey got sanctioned by the courts that we are mandated to pay 35% of all revenue coming into the city. No other town has that. Not in the south suburbs. So this is what we are faced for. It does not mean that no other town will be going through this like we are down the road, but we are going through it now. So it is a learning opportunity. If you do not have the money, what do we do? And that is why we are working in progress. We are working towards this. This has only been 1 week. I was Mayor Clark's #1 supporter. We've gone back all the way to 2015. But I am not Mayor Clark. I am Shirley Drewinski. And just like there are no two of you that think alike, but you love and share the same interest, but you think differently. You think differently. And that's rightly so. We all think differently. But I don't want a person leaving here thinking that we do not want our employees back. We do not want our staff back. Yes, we do. I had the privilege, and I will call it a privilege, and many of these aldermen do not know, but I worked side by side by two people last week, Ramona and Corinne. These ladies have been working 7 days a week. Their dedication to you as a resident, to this city, is amazing. So I thank you too. But I can guarantee as I go through, they are not the only ones. There's a lot of our department heads that have a passion and truly care. So residents, please, the staff is working very hard. They are very very diligent and doing the job to the best of their ability. So I thank you with that. We're talking about warm weather. What happens in warm weather? Crime, potholes, grass. We got time for grass because we can come up with a plan. But right now, our potholes are going to get worse. Our water mains are going to be breaking. We had, what? Correct me if I'm wrong, 3 major water breaks last week. 2 in the same ward, 2 on the same block. And let me tell you, it wasn't a simple project. So when the water is being shut off, I know I get frustrated when I am shut off, when I'm informed last minute. That is why I asked the staff at the street department, see if they can make phone calls, notify the residents. We want to notify you timely. But when these water main breaks, one happened on Sealy, not Center, right? 144th? Circle. We had them out there. We had it fixed on Tuesday. Guess what? Thursday, 2 houses down, there was another one. And it was bigger than the first one. And these are not simple projects. We had to remove light posts. We had to do digging. So there are times that we're not going to give you amp notice if the water is going to be shut off. But I assure you we will do our best. So I wanted to address that.
They were fixed in a timely manner, though.
Thank you. Yes, it was. Alderman, I would like each and every one of you to be available Friday night, if you could, say around 6 o'clock. I want to show you something I saw today, and that is the new crime center. And we have not had an opening, but I would like to have these aldermen in together. We're not going to be in a violation of the open. We're talking about city business, the agenda items, anything pertaining to what should be public. If they are talking about the sports game, having a couple cocktails together, getting enjoyment, talking, having lunch, that is not a violation. But when you're talking about city business, it becomes. So it's a gray area, a line to follow. So I rest assure you, if you can make it, if you can't make it, we can schedule another visit. But if the majority of you can make it, if we could do it on Friday. I was planning, and I talked to the chief, so this is the first time he's hearing about this. And for Friday night, we were planning on Saturday, but someone reminded me it was Valentine's Day. So I want to be sensitive to that too for those of you who have plans. So if that's possible, great. If not, please set another time. Call Ramona and set up another time. But I would like everyone to see what I saw today. At 6 o'clock at the new crime center. Also, I would like to talk about, we talked about the fight, all cease and orders. We'll have an opportunity to go through them to see, as far as the taxes, talking about people publicly in this council. It's part of the Open Meeting Act. If there is a lawsuit states Shirley Drewinski versus the city for X amount of dollars, then this paperwork will say Shirley Drewinski versus the city for X amount of dollars. So it's not trying to say we're not pinpointing one person or just saying for one person for the record. All our other agendas in court settlements had their names pretending for the, stating on here for the Open Meeting Act. Okay, I think I covered everything. So just to recap, because we had a very busy, I thank you guys very, very much. What we're going to do, a letter of intent and your resume be submitted to who? Call it out. Ramona. By when? Friday. Excellent. Then we're going to set up, the alderman will set up one person per each ward to sit on the interviewing, and then we'll figure out a time where we'll have the interviewing. Then our goal is to have that person present by February 23rd. If we do not reach that goal, that's okay. That is my goal. Our actual target date is the beginning of March, legally. So I just want to be upfront with everyone. I'm doing this so we can move forward. And I also say, if I'm the one sitting at this desk, so everyone will know what I am doing. Alderman Clark and I have been together, and it has not been no secret. For those of you who know, in the first ward, he has been at all of our meetings. We support one another. Anything that was his idea will be in memory of Mayor Clark. My name will follow as acting interim, or at this point, Mayor Pro Tem. All right, I just wanted to make that. I think it's been a long meeting. I thank you very much for your patience and your understanding. And God bless. We need a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Have a great week. Thank you very much.